Hello, Jericho here. I'm going to skip the introduction because I just have some things I want to deliver from my heart. I'm saddened, I'm angry, disgusted, frustrated, remorseful. You name it. I think I'm experiencing the whole spectrum of emotions. And there's not one emotion greater than the other. It's just like a conglomeration of turmoil. Why? A cop just killed a man recently. I was in law enforcement for 20 years. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. This is ugly. I mean ugly. How do you articulate how ugly it is? It's one thing to have to take the life of another human being for self-preservation or in the protection of others who's being assaulted and attacked. That's justifiable. It's not desired, but it's justifiable. This is not justifiable. The man was in handcuffs. Whether he was drunk, on drugs, whether there was counterfeit money involved, whatever, but he was in handcuffs, on his face, on the pavement, with two cops on his back, one on his neck, one on his back, and several others just standing around. Where was he going to go? He wasn't resisting. If he was drunk on drugs, I never saw a field sobriety test being administered. He was just handled like a wild animal. Now, let me make this very clear. I love cops. I've been around them most of my life. I would come to their rescue anytime, friend or foe, it doesn't matter. When it's time to defend your colleague, your fellow brother and sister, you just step into action. I love cops, I really do, but I don't justify illegal actions, criminal activity, and outright murder. I don't. Never will. Never have. By the grace of God, I've been able to maintain my integrity for 20 years in law enforcement. I couldn't be bought. I was not going to cross the line. I took an oath, and I stuck by that oath. It's what I believed in. It was my conviction. It was my commitment. I know cops out there that I would trust the lives of my children with. My own life. But apparently not this one, or those of his ilk. So like I said, I'm saddened, I'm remorseful, I'm tore up inside, and yet I'm very angry. Because here's the problem again. This is not a racial issue. It may appear to be that way on the surface. But my friend, this is hate. This is a disease of the soul. And haven't we realized by now, after millennials, not just the birth of this nation and where we are now with all of our laws and rules and statutes and regulations, but for millennials of history, haven't we realized that no law can change a diseased soul? Can't do it. Capital punishment has not worked. My goodness, there was a time when they hung people in public. That didn't work. For pedophiles, castration has not worked. Being imprisoned does not work. Taking people's freedom and liberties and incarcerating them does not work. Psychology does not work. Psychiatry does not work. Medication only keeps them so stupefied they can't function, but it doesn't work. It does not go down to the depths of the human heart, the soul, and destroy the disease of hatred, malice, strife, envy, debate, prejudice, discrimination. Doesn't do it. But what's the first thing political-minded people want to do? Well, a cop killed a guy, so let's defund the police. Let's get rid of the police force. Well, somebody shot somebody illegally with a gun, so let's take the guns away. Really? Have politicians fallen so low in their stupidity, their ignorance, their incompetence? Has their mind become so degenerate that they have no logic, reason, intelligence, rationale? Okay, if you're going to run down that street, well, let's just defund. Let's take everybody's weapons away because that'll solve the problem. You're a liar. You're a bastard-born liar. It doesn't do it. It's just political bullshit rhetoric. As I said, history proves that laws do not change the human heart. I do not defend, support in any way what that cop did to that other human being. And I'm not going to call him a black guy. He was not black. He was a human being. And I'm not a white guy. I'm a human being that has an ancestral lineage that I'm proud of. And he did too. We're people of color, all different shades along the spectrum of colorful humanity. You want to defund the police departments? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, politicians? Are you going to protect us? Some of the most highly trained individuals, cops, military, National Guard, some of the most highly trained individuals have committed the most atrocious acts, the most heinous acts in history. The My Lai massacre, Vietnam, highly trained soldiers, American soldiers, slaughtered, murdered over about 400 unarmed Vietnamese men, women, and children, highly trained. And yet, you want to start screaming when some poor deranged kid takes a weapon from home and goes in and starts killing his schoolmates. Oh, let's take the guns away from the Americans. Why don't you take the guns away from the military? That kid was not trained. That military personnel were highly trained and still committed murder. What about Kent State? Highly trained National Guard went in there and killed innocent, unarmed students because they were protesting the Vietnam War. I just watched a video the other day. A group of cops coming down the street. This elderly man standing there. They just push him down. He don't have a gun. He hasn't picked up an object and trying to attack them. They just push him down. Those aren't police officers. Those are thugs, gangsters with a badge and a gun. Just like the National Guard that killed unarmed students, thugs, gangsters with guns. Why don't you arrest President Obama for releasing guns, several thousand guns? Go arrest him. Protest him. for releasing thousands of guns into Mexico, knowing it would get into the hands of criminals, of which the result was Brian Terry, a Border Patrol agent, was killed with one of those guns. As far as I'm concerned, former President Obama was guilty of murder of one of our Border Patrol agents. You don't release guns into a country that is filled with criminals. Oh, but let's take the guns away from the Americans. Let's take the guns away from law-abiding American patriots, American citizens. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. No, I'm not sorry. You have lost your mind. You're insane. You're psychopaths, sociopathic politicians. I'm saddened. I'm angry. I'm ripped apart inside to see this nation, the best nation on the face of the earth, not perfect, but the best nation on the face of the earth, being destroyed by criminals, political criminals, who subtly undermine the freedoms of this nation and do not attack the problem, but perpetuate the problem instead of finding solutions. Why don't you go after the tobacco companies? It's been proven. 500,000 people die every year because of cigarette-related disease. That's genocide. But they make trillions and trillions and trillions, and the government collects the taxes. How convenient. Why don't you go after them for murderous practices, for malpractice? It's premeditated. Well, we know when we sell these cigarettes, people's going to get lung disease, heart disease, cancer. They admit it. Yet, that's okay. It's people. When are you going to get this through your thick skull? It's people that kills people. It's people that harbors hate. It's people that are prejudiced. It's people that are discriminatory. It's people that commit heinous crimes, not a gun. This incident here proved it. The cop that pushed that elderly man down, he didn't pull his weapon. The cop that put his knee on the back of that guy, that other human being that died, he didn't have his gun out. It was his knee to his neck. So it don't take a gun. If somebody wants to kill somebody, they'll find a way to do it. Now, did he premeditate to kill that guy? Oh, I'd say not, but he did. Wake up, you brain-dead politicians. On all sides. That's why I hate politics. This nation was founded upon the laws of nature and nature's God, and politics, the place of politics in that was to protect those natural laws and prosecute those who violate those laws, not try to strip those natural laws that came from nature's God away from us. You didn't form me. No political party, no Supreme Court, no president, no vice president, no political legislation formed me in my mother's womb. I came by the laws of nature and nature's God. You did not form me in my mother's womb. Therefore, you do not give me life, and therefore you cannot take my God-given right away to protect my life. Back off. You want to see an uprising? You'll see one when you continue to try to strip us away from our God-given crown jewels, our birthright of liberty. These other people out here protesting and committing violent acts, it's wrong. They have a right to protest according to the First Amendment. But when a government tries to take our God-given rights, we have a right by the Second Amendment to destroy you, and preserve and protect and defend our rights and the Constitution of this wonderful United States, as flawed as it is. Back off. We are law-abiding citizens. We are American patriots. Did you listen to the news today? Did you watch a YouTube video today testifying that millions times millions times millions of gun owners never committed a crime? Millions times millions times millions of American patriots never committed a crime. Hundreds of thousands of cops with character and integrity never violated a person's constitutional civil rights. Do you ever hear that on the news? No, of course not. But as soon as a little glitch happens in the system, man, they're on it, and the politicians are on it like shit on a shovel. Predators, that's all you are, predators. And yet you'll hide behind your security fences, your security guards, your military, and want to leave us out here defenseless. Well, it's not going to happen. Hey, until next time, God bless, and be a true American.